Oh, so you learned about styling in the most embarrassing way to be a few factions on Infinity Nikki, but starting to struggle towards the end of the stronger factions. Maybe we need to look a little deeper on our Eureka to give us another edge in battle. So Eureka, we have heard of them, blindly use them, and add them to our outfits when they match whatever aesthetic we're going for. But what is Eureka? And how can we really take advantage of these little guys in the long run? Look no further, because today we are going to jump right into how to effectively use your Eurekas. If you do enjoy my content or look forward to any more explanation videos regarding game mechanics for Infinity Nikki, definitely consider subscribing and liking the video for more in the future. Hello stylists, welcome back to my channel, where today we're going to take a full look into Eurekas. Or at least I'll give you all the knowledge I have about them. So Eurekas are those extra objects that flow around our head, wrists, and ankles to give us some extra boosted scores at the end of a styling contest. They're also really cool and shiny, and some of them seem to mimic animals and creatures. So if you don't know how to unlock or get Eureka, you probably have been ignoring Tokar, who stands in front of the Stylist Guild next to the Warp Spire. He's considered a world quest character, kind of like that one fragrance guy when it comes to the whim fragrances you gather in caves. Talking to him the further you get into the game will unlock more realms along the way. In our case, we want to get some new Eureka, or even start upgrading our Eureka to progress the story, some side missions, faction stylist competitions, or also the Mirror Crown for extra rewards. In order to unlock the realm of Eureka, you will have to complete the world quest, New Guidance Realm of Escalation, and also complete the Well of Fortune main story quest in Chapter 1, and have the Electrician ability outfit unlocked. I'm sure most players have already have this unlocked, so let's talk about the Realm of Eureka. This realm so far has 3 difficulties, all based on your mirror level, and will grant different Eureka rewards. I'm sure there's a guide out there for every single Eureka on Infinity Nikki, so for the sake of this video, we will just cover the basics on how to acquire Eurekas. You face many trials throughout the main story of the game, and I noticed they eventually turn into Eureka trials for the realm. I'm assuming there are only 3 trials we can get to, as of now, just because the last difficulty I see on the Realm of Eureka screen unlocks at level 37. These trials are pretty easy. Simple platforming, collecting some objects in the level before time runs out. At the end of a run, we use our vital energy to collect our rewards. You can either use the minimum of 40 vital energy or also multiply your rewards the more energy that you use up. This is completely up to you, but if you want to just farm a big haul of Eureka, then I suggest using way more than 40 energy. Now that we collected some Eureka, let's go and look for the Eureka menu option in our Pair Pal. Like the clothing glow up and wardrobe option, they do have their own place on our Pair Pal. So what does the Eureka menu actually do? Well, it does a few things. We can view all the Eureka we've gained here. They're divided into 3 sections for where it will appear on Nikki. This is where we can view all our Eureka we have collected, see if we have any duplicates, and also check their stats and upgrade the Eureka. Eureka, just like clothing, do have their own categories and even subclasses after you level up a bit, but we'll get into that a little later. They also have a color associated to each Eureka, which will solely depend on leveling up. You can see a preview of all of the color combinations that a specific Eureka has by hitting the L2 button. If you're on controller, I play on controller, sorry. But if you're on the controller, it's L2, and it'll show you a couple options of the colors you have. Just in case you don't know, if you fully max out a Eureka, you are not able to choose the color the Eureka turns into. So it's going to randomly pick a color for you. The game will pick a random color for you. It's all chance. If you want to get a different color, I would definitely just keep grinding Eureka and just getting the same exact Eureka to level 10 and eventually getting the color you want. But until then, that's all we really can do with the color system, unfortunately. With that said, let's jump into how to upgrade a Eureka. Okay, so let's select a random Eureka. It can be anything. Now hit square to bring up the upgrade menu. Here you will see a more in-depth screen about the Eureka. So on the right side, we got the level, experience indicator, the color, and also a hidden label that can be unlocked. To unlock the label for any Eureka, you really just have to upgrade it into level 5, and kaboom, it pops open for you. Now why do we really care about these so-called labels? Have you noticed when you do a fashion battle, there's usually a theme and then you get a random label attached on some of the battles, it's not on all of them. This is where you can start playing around with your Eureka and how to play into the styling competition. This also applies for your outfits as well. Sometimes when you filter your items by score, it will say a clothing item with a lower star rating or lower quality will give you a lot more points than your highest quality clothing that matches the actual style of that competition. The reason it does that is usually because not only does it match with the main style, but it probably matches with whatever label associated with that challenge you're doing. I went ahead and kind of tried this out with lower level items in Eureka just based on their labels. It would actually at some points have lower star items giving me a lot more points in a challenge just based on the fact that it had a corresponding label versus a higher quality outfit piece. I'm not a math whiz or anything, but you definitely do get some bonus points for using clothing or Eureka that matches with a label versus the overall theme of the styling competition. Sometimes it's just by a few points, but I have seen it actually boost my score by 1,000 or 2,000 points just because of that. So if you're ever struggly ugly, try to level up that Eureka or clothing item with a certain label to get a higher score in your styling battles. Or better yet, just put your strongest high tier clothes together and dabble with some labels on the side. It's up to you, young warrior stylist. I don't know if this makes sense to you guys. You really just have to play around with the system, but I notice it works for me every time. Honestly, Eureka and labels are kind of something I'm experimenting on since you can't really go back and fight the stylists again, especially if you get a perfect on them already. And a lot of the stylists don't really have a label attached to the challenge to try this out every single time. So I can't come up with like definite conclusions, but I did notice it does give me points. If you definitely have sound advice or anything you want to add, please feel free to do so in the comments. I read everything. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!